All right, creative writing. Okay, it can be used to inspire visions within the reader's mind. It can be used to describe in detail events that actually occurred in an eloquent fashion, right? And it can also be a way for not only the reader to be able to get um, benefit from it, but the writer as well. Okay, a very good creative writer can almost provide a picture of the of the story or the image that they're trying to portray to the reader, right? And that's what we're going to be working on today. Okay, now this lesson is going to be something that we've similar in the same vein that we've been used to working. Okay, hold on. Um, we're going to do an assignment today where we will take a look at an image and looking at the components of the image, whether it be shapes, people, what have you. We're going to uh, we're going to write a paper, okay? And you're going to, using the image only, come up with a one-page paper indicating what you would see, or how you could see a day in the life of that particular group of people, that particular city, that particular time frame. Okay? And you want to be able to do it in such a way that the reader would be able to get a very vivid picture, almost like they were watching a TV. Okay, almost like they were watching a film or something of that nature, to be able to get a sense of what you're attempting to describe. Now, keep in mind, before videos, TVs, all of these types of things, um, writers would have to be very eloquent in the way that they uh, provided the information to the reader if they wanted to be able to get the reader to really see through words what it is that they were trying to convey. Okay? And so, what we're going to do in this particular assignment, we're going to get into groups of 4. Okay? We're going to be using the internet workstation, the computer workstations. All right? And we will be looking up information from a particular era of time in world history. Didn't know you're going to be doing a little history with your English lesson today, huh? Well, this is what we're going to do. Okay, we're going to be looking up a time frame in ancient African history. Okay, each of you will be given a specific time frame. We may even, to, I guess, make it a little easier, we may even just go into specific dynasties when particular families or groups of people were in charge for a particular period of time, for a substantial period of time, enough to be able to influence the culture so that when you see the picture, there's a specific image or specific idea that you may come up with. Now, we want you to collaborate with each other, do some cooperative learning techniques that we've talked about, okay, and come up with an idea, okay. Now, and each group is going to be presenting a single paper, okay, and what we'll do is we'll designate, or in the group, you could designate who's going to be the one that would be getting up in the classroom to read what you came up with. And keep in mind, you're wanting to be able to write the paper, giving a description of the image that you're going to be that you're going to find online, to the point where the other students would be able to get a vivid idea of what you're describing, and once they see that image, could see the story that you're putting before them, the idea of how that particular what it is that that particular picture could possibly be conveying. What is it that they might have been doing in that time frame at that very moment that picture was either painted, chiseled, because with this particular time frame, you're very likely going to be see images that are painted on particular types of paper, or they may be chiseled on the side of a temple or the side of a wall inside of a temple. Okay, but nonetheless, I mean, those were the pictures of the day, right? No cameras or what have you, so they had images that were made through paintings and carvings, right? Okay, so once we get done with looking up the information for each of the eras or time periods in ancient African history, what we'll then do is we'll come back and each person will read what you've come up with, and toward the end of the class we'll have a group, like a class discussion, what things that you came up with. Now, during the course of your investigation inquiries, when you go to your websites or what have you, I want you to keep some questions in mind. These are some questions that we're going to be going over during the course of this. Just to get a sense of how well you grasped the concept of the creative writing process within this particular format, using a image, writing up something that based on the image, and being able to convey it in a way that the reader, or in this case the people that are listening, would be able to get a very, very clear picture of what it is that you're talking about. Now, some of the questions that we're going to be asking, okay, that you want to keep in mind, right, are going to be questions such as, what images within the picture that you're going to be looking at had the greatest influence on the subject matter in your paper? Conversely, what could you say had the least impact when you were in the process of writing, brainstorming, you made the decision to put information? What is it that didn't really have much impact at all or influence at all on your writing? Okay. Then more specifically, we'll be asking how do you figure that that you would have interacted with the people in the scenario that you're building. Remember, we're talking about people that are going to be, or you're going to be giving a description of everyday life, or a day in the life of the individuals in that time frame based on that picture. So how do you think you would, based on what you're writing, how do you think that you would be interacting with the people of that day? All right. Would you consider yourself, you think you'd be out of sorts? Or do you figure that you'd be able to make friends or be able to navigate your way through that particular day? All right. And also, as we were talking about earlier, how well do you expect that your paper will be able to get across what you're trying to say? Always keep that in mind whenever you're reading. All right. Now, we will, toward the end of the class, as I indicated, now we'll be discussing how you came up with the things that you came up with, right? Okay. And we will see if we can come up with any other ideas, even after the paper has been written. Okay? Now, just a quick little background, a little backdrop. Ancient Africa. Okay, we're going to be talking about a particular area. All right, when you get into ancient Africa, you're talking about the area that at one point in time is very still more popularly known or considered as Egypt. I believe it has an Islamic name at this particular point, but it's for most of the people around the world, they're familiar with it as Egypt. During the time of ancient Africa, it was actually called Kemet. Okay, and so we'll be looking at time periods in that region of the area known, or the continent known as Africa. Okay, and we'll be looking at particular dynasties, most likely the latter dynasties just prior to a lot of invasions where there was a lot of interruption of everyday life as a result of fighting and protecting your homestead and things of that nature. So just keep in mind that you're looking at a time frame where things were completely different. Okay, but it doesn't stop you from actually using some ideas based on what you know about now. You make a very interesting paper, So we'll get started. Okay, go to your workstations. Okay, and we'll get started.